boys and girls. This week, as requested by Genesis, we are going to talk about Mexico. I'm not going to pretend to know Spanish or know a lot about Mexico and its traditions any more than the next person, but I'll do my very best. I do encourage Genesis to type in the comments for this video anything that she wants us to know about Mexico or anything that I might get wrong in the video. But let's just go ahead and get started here. If you look over here, you'll see Mexico on the map. This is obviously the United States. We are located right about there, and Mexico is down here in the lower part of North America. North America goes all the way down to here, and then this starts South America. You can see their flag here. Most of you are probably familiar with the Mexican flag, or at least the colors. The capital of Mexico is Mexico City. One of the things I did want to talk about was, well, there's a couple things. One was the food, and we think about Mexican food, and it's not necessarily the tradition. Some of it's based on traditional food, I believe, but for the most part, I think that we kind of view Mexican food a little bit differently than what the people who are actually in Mexico do. Again, I'm sure there are some big similarities, but I don't believe it's the same. So I just wanted to look at some of the top foods to try while you're in Mexico. And I'm not going to even try to pronounce some of this stuff because I just don't even want to be that wrong. So this little dish here looks delicious to me, honestly. A little tortilla chips with some probably some shredded chicken, I would guess. Oh, it's got scrambled eggs in it, and cheese and cream. Yes, all that. That looks fantastic. Almost looks like nachos. I'm going to go down to this one because it's got pictures. Tostadas. I do know what tostadas are. Look at that, nice and fresh. Mexico is in a hotter environment, so they do have lots of peppers and chilies and things like that. And you can see tropical stuff like the limes and things like that. A lot of avocados and limes used and peppers and stuff used in the Mexican dishes. Now this is one I've been dying to try. And I've actually seen this online where people on the street in Mexico will make this, kind of like we have hot dog vendors and food trucks. They have these guys that have this corn. And they basically, I think they just boil it to cook it, but then they top it with all this stuff, spices. It says down here, salt, chili powder, lime, butter, cheese, mayonnaise, sour cream, and then add it in abundance, which means they put a lot on it. And I think that looks like one of the things that I would really want to try. That's something you could try at home too. Enchiladas. I'm gonna assume that's probably mole, not mole. That's pretty good too. But yeah, that's about it. Like I said, lots of fresh ingredients and stuff are used and all that stuff. Really digging that. All right. Another thing I want to talk about was the Mexico's location on the Ring of Fire. We talked about the Ring of Fire and science and stuff, and we talked about the fault lines and volcanoes and earthquakes that are caused by the fault lines and stuff from plate tectonics. And Mexico is actually on the Ring of Fire. If you look right here, Mexico is right here. This is the Ring of Fire, okay, with that Pacific plate, and then you got the Nazca plate here. But you can see, boom, 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 boom. There's this hotbed of activity in kind of southern Mexico where that fault is. And they have volcanoes and they have earthquakes and excuse me, all kinds of stuff like that. So it is a very active area for plate tectonics as well. So I thought that was pretty interesting. I think the last thing I wanted to talk about was just about they actually have pyramids in parts of Mexico. Mexico was actually inhabited by the Aztec Indians, and the Aztecs were eventually kind of taken over and defeated by the Spanish, and that's why Mexicans speak Spanish. The Spanish language was brought to Mexico, I think, around the 1600s or so, and it just kind of stuck. The Aztecs were killed by a lot of them were killed by something called smallpox, which is a disease that the Spaniards brought with them and the Europeans brought with them that they had already were immune to, which means like the Spanish carried it but didn't get sick. And when they brought it to Mexico, the Aztecs, they all got it and a bunch of them died. But they do have think there was a picture down here. Yeah, they've got like some pyramids and stuff down in Mexico as well. That's really cool. You should look those up online when you get some time on your own. There was one in the beginning with some of the pictures too that I had in the intro to this video. But and the last thing, of course, is I just want to say hola, ¿cómo está? And I do know enough to know that that is hello, how are you? And I know that I could say muy bien, which means very good. The last phrase that I think everybody should know, especially if you're going to go to Mexico, is "Donde es el baño?" which is "Where's the bathroom?" Okay, and that's going to be about it for this one. And I do want to say that it wasn't just the Aztecs too; it was also the Mayans. The Mayans and the Aztecs are two ancient native tribes that were in Mexico. But anyway, that's going to be it for now. You guys, I encourage you to do some more research on your own. That's kind of what this is for. It's just to give you a little taste, and then you can go in if you want to do more research on your own. And then next week maybe we'll head back over to Africa or maybe Asia, a country over in one of those two continents. So enjoy your day, have a good one. And Genesis, if you have any comments, put them in the comment section.